Hey guys, so here we are. It's been forever. Uh, I kind of got a raspy voice right now, but I really want to play this damn Chloe route because I need to know what happens. So, we're just jumping right on in. Okay. Uh, oh my god, choking. Sorry. This is gonna be gross. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so where we left off, it took me a minute to remember. Where we left off, Chloe said that she was about to jump Talent Link Week, and Max is not happy. And I don't remember if Chloe and I were connecting or not, but we're gonna see. It would make me the biggest hypocrite in Oregon to call her out on leaving me behind in Arcadia Bay as she goes off to explore the world. I know that. But I've loved having her back in my life. It's taught me that some people really are irreplaceable. Chloe, most of all. And full disclosure, I did play the Kate route on Twitch. It was beautiful. I'm sorry, not Kate. I want to play the Kate route on Twitch. I played the Victoria route on Twitch. It was not so beautiful. I'm talking about things I don't even know about. I played the Victoria route, and she talks about Chloe in there too. So I'm assuming she talks about Chloe like all the time. So, yeah. This game is really about Chloe. I'm not crazy about the idea of losing her again. Yeesh. Right after I told myself I wouldn't be mopey too. Time to get it together, self. And apologies if you hear the crazy rain and thunder going on in the background. It's like torrential flooding out here in Texas. My power hasn't gone out yet, but it might go out. So if I disappear, that's what happened. I roll out of bed, start pulling my clothes and things together. What's really important now is to focus on Chloe, make the most of our time together. I'll need to get morning muzziness out of my head first, but I really like to do something special for her. Muzziness? That's like Muzzy. Anybody remember the Muzzy commercials from when we were little? With the green thing that like taught you to speak French? Just me? Make sure her parting memories of Arcadia Bay are good ones. Give her a compelling reason to come back. Oh. Okay, Max, you're gonna miss Chloe, but how about we dwell on that after she's actually left? Oh, and we're gonna take a photo, in a good photo, an award-winning photo. Sometimes I feel like time is actively working against me. Maybe it's because you spend all your time in your room talking to yourself. Time to go splash some water on the face. Max's sadness hour is over. It's about time this day got rolling. At least she knows she's well. I still don't understand what this naked chick's doing in here. But of course, when the door swings open and the smell of weed hits me like a truck, my heart just goes speedy again. Hey, bedhead. Morning, burnout. She grins at me, lowering her joint and leaning back against the sink. She looks loose-limbed and carefree this early in the morning, arms bare and hair mussed. Or fair, like she shaved them? Looks like she's waiting around to raise some hell with Rachel again this morning. I know it must look like a mess, but at least it's nothing she hasn't seen before. I crossed by her to the sink to her left, leaning over it and splashing some water up into my face, exhaling against my fingers. Chloe's looking at me. I could feel it. You doing okay, Max? I straightened up and glanced at her before patting off my face. Yeah, I'm fine. You know I'm not a morning person. Who is? Still, she's looking at me, a little searchingly. Her joint glows amber red between her fingers. You sure though your eyes are kinda... She makes a vague gesture with her hands, indicating my entire face, which isn't exactly helpful. All smudgy like. Too small. Chloe's face is great. Thanks. It's Chloe, let's be honest. Thinking about you, I guess. Oh shit. Sorry, I was supposed to keep my channel clean and I've already messed up. I don't care. With that, her grin spreads wide. Oh, shit eating, and she leans towards me, bursting both hands on either side of the sink. Oh really? For a second I just blink at her and she raises an eyebrow. Then I get it. Oh, you wish. I shove at her shoulder and she sways back laughing. I giggle too and wish I hadn't already doused myself. It'd be suspicious to do it twice. And the contest too, but somehow you manage to distract me even when you're not there. Dang! Chloe grins and ramps her joint out against the sink. I'm counting on that. Anyway, Rachel will be here in a few minutes. Stop talking about Rachel. Apparently today is going to be the big goodbye day. The word goodbye just drops into the rock in the pit of my stomach, but I just nod. Is that your way of subtly telling me to get out of your Kool-Aid stained hair? First of all, how dare you suggest this color comes from anything but the finest bottle of Manic Panic Bad Boy Blue Amplified Hair Dye. I'm sorry, Chloe, I think you mean Atomic Turquoise. Second, absolutely not, hippie. I was planning on running into you. She meets my eyes again and I straighten a little. Reach up to pinch a water droplet out of my bangs. That was scary. Yeah? Why? For one thing, you look cute first thing in the morning. Your hair's all floofy. Max is shocked. As I'm brushing down my admittedly floofy hair with my fingers, she continues. Also, Rachel has me booked all day, but I wanted to know what your plans were. My plans? Yeah, hopefully I'll be free later on today, so if you want to do something like for the contest, or... She shrugs suddenly unsure and flicks her smudged joint into the stall across from her. It misses the drain by about 2 feet. But just the fact that Chloe's still thinking about the contest first, about me, even in the face of this huge shift in her life. I definitely want to hang out. But maybe today can just be Max and Chloe day? She looks at me again, surprised. Then she grins. Dude, every day is Max and Chloe day. Like fucking Thelma and Louise. Have you got something in mind? Not yet, but I will by the time this afternoon rolls around. It's a surprise. Chloe's eyes go even brighter. Sweet, gives me something to look forward to as I suffer through all the skater bros' tears. You're gonna break their hearts. She just nods cheerfully. I'll get used to it. Her phone beeps when we both look down. Chloe checks the message, then shoves it back in her pocket. Rachel. She's waiting outside apparently. She lives off this shit, you know. I think Ms. Tears might make her younger or something. That does sound like Rachel. Mystical, powerful, and daunting. Go easy, alright? I feel kind of bad for them. No promises. She reaches out and ruffles my hair with one hand. Catch you later, dork. And I'll text you when I can meet up. Okay, tell Rachel I'm expecting her to be the responsible one. She already knows, but will do. She winks at me and then slips out the bathroom door. So that gives me the half hour before class starts to think of something special for Chloe. Good, Max. Great forward thinking. Playing a balancing act of thinking about Chloe and getting ready for class is even harder than I thought it would be. While I'm bummed she'll be cutting class and I won't be able to see her, it's not as though it's the first time she's ever done it. Also, I'm kind of glad to be lined up as the person she comes back to at the end of the day. It keeps me feeling significant. Even though I know it's probably poor planning to let the contest take a day off when we only have 3 contest days on, I think it's a good idea to have some time for Chloe and I to just focus on each other. Plus, if she's going to be busy for most of the day, that gives me a bit to plan for the photo in the meantime. And for what I want to do for Chloe today. I think I'd like to give her some kind of memorabilia to remind her of Arcadia Bay. Or of me. Max is a lot more like outspoken in this route. Like, talking to Victoria was hard. I didn't like it. For a moment that makes me smile, the idea of White Knight Chloe receiving a token from her lady fair before setting off on her grand Arthurian journey. Then I catch myself. Geez, schoolgirl crush much, Max? I shake my head, push that more than semi-worrying thought out of my mind for now, and focus on thinking of the gift Chloe might like. Okay, so it's obvious the people who made this game are like leaning toward Pricefield. Because Max was not self-aware in the Victoria round. She did not say this much. It was a lot more vague, and yeah, Max did not talk about her feelings. After spending a couple of seconds looking around my room, I come up with what I think are 3 Chloe options. Mixtape doubt? Yes, you should make her a mix CD. Chloe does love to rock out, and she's going to be spending a lot of time in that car. I know her music tastes well enough by now to pull together a playlist I think she'd like. Something to keep her awake and eager on the road. Maybe I can also slip in some songs I've been trying to get her to listen to. Even if she's not crazy about them, it'll at least be a way to have her thinking of me. But hopefully, in an old man Max, my musically talented best friend who I miss so much way. Geez, what kind of loser puts 3 acoustic tracks right next to each other way? I could probably make one after class. Maybe doodle a cover to go along with it. Sounds like a plan. What's really important is making this day about Chloe. I want her to feel like I'm supporting her decision, not holding her back. It's hard walking the balance of knowing I'm really, really gonna miss her and being happy for her, knowing she's doing what she wants to do. Chloe deserves the world and more, but I just hope her happy ending isn't one where we're apart. Mine definitely isn't. Her getting ready to leave is starting to make me really realize that. I'm starting to think I should have put that in the words before this week. Just as I'm running the risk of riding a train back all the way into Mopesville, though, my phone beeps. Luckily, too, because apparently I only have 2 minutes left to get to class. I hurriedly shrug my bag over my shoulder, scrolling through my text with my other hand. Looks like I'll be free around 4. How work for you? My schedule's totally clear. I'm at your beck and call. Intriguing. You gonna give me a hint about the surprise thing or what? Well, I think you'll like it. Dude, of course I'm gonna like it. Be more specific. No, I wanna watch you shiver with anticipation. You're lucky I love you because you're a pain in the ass. Just finish the damn... Whatever. Okay, I'll see you at 4. Also, Max, thanks for doing this. I know you're busy. You couldn't spell no right? I know you're busy with the contest and school stuff, and it's great to be able to hang out with you still. I'm glad we can. Patient, go Max. Oh yeah, of course. Nothing but the best for my BFF. Yeah, see you later. Don't be late for the date. Weeb. I'm gonna start charging you a bit for those, I swear. I ended up skidding into mixed dog's class 3 minutes late, but even the darkest Victoria's Clairs can't wipe this stupid grin off my face. So we're gonna play through Wednesday and then we're done for today. It's 10 minutes to 4 and I'm actually starting to hope I can rely on Chloe's chronic lateness. First typo I found. Well, besides mixed up I and me, I ended up getting the boardwalk later than I expected, scrambling to get my work done for class tomorrow and getting caught up in brainstorming for the contest. In the end, I just decided to text Chloe asking if she would mind meeting up here. She's the one with the truck after all. And it's faster than Blackwell's bus, even if its upkeep is similarly doubtful. I dare you to say that to my truck's face. But okay, we'll meet you at the boardwalk. It's so atmospheric here too, it's hard to stay focused. All the bright colors of storefronts and the soft sound of the sea in the distance makes me want to soak up the atmosphere. This is one of the only places in Arcadia Bay that continually feels lively. I've always been more inclined to the quieter parts of town, especially for photography, but there's still something so magical about places like this, on the border between civilization and nature. I wonder if Chloe's searching for more places like this, bustling, shining with color and sound. She's definitely someone who's drawn to places, and people that present life with vigor. Is she even looking for something, or is she just desperate to leave this place specifically? Well, it's not like I'm going to figure that out by just sitting here thinking about it. The only person who can answer that question is Chloe. Right now, I need to make sure her gift is perfect. Luckily, I was able to piece together a good playlist for Chloe before I left the dorm. Good in my opinion, anyway. All I needed was to pick up from the shops was a protective cover. I think I managed to strike a fine balance between I rock hard and feel nothing but rage against the machine, and punks have feelings too. I was also able to get some passable doodles drawn on the disc before I cut the bus. I'm no Picasso, but I think Chloe will be able to make out some butterflies, skull and crossbones, or faces. I hope she'll like it. Just as I've held it up a little to inspect it against sunlight, bad idea, it's CD Max, I hear a shout from behind me. Max! I turned, quickly hiding both hands behind my back, to see Chloe a few yards away, climbing out of her truck and baby. Hey! I wave with one hand and try my best to be subtle, slipping her gift back into my bag as she starts ambling over in my direction. I barely have time to look back up again before Chloe's right in front of me, wrapping her arms around my waist and lifting me nearly an inch off the ground. Ah! God, are you a sight for sore eyes? Put me down! She does, her hands still settled on my hips as she leans back to look at me, grinning at my half-hearted soul. Don't pretend you're not happy to see me! Of course I'm happy to see you. That only makes her look more smug. So, what was the damage? Chloe shrugs. Well, I think 6 years were added to Rachel's life. She told me to say hi, by the way. I'll have to say hi back later. She's counting on it. Chloe lets go of me and starts moving towards the edge of the wooden slats beneath us. She gestures for me to follow her, and I hurry to mount pace with her again. So, I meet up here. Not that I don't appreciate the romantic atmosphere. I'm stuck between the first two. Is this like questioning if there's romance? Or is it bringing it up? I'm gonna roll with it. Well, you know, only the best for you. She grins, satisfied. Is this your best then? She tilts her head back, looking at me from beneath her eyelids, almost like a dare, smiling with her incisors. Incisors? Aren't those like these? I know that look, and it's probably... Oh, that's these. I know that look is supposed to make me catch off guard and say something stupid, probably so she can laugh at me. But I've been getting better at playing this game. I raise my chin, put one hand on my hip, even as I feel my heart flutter. Disappointed? That gets her to grin even wider, and all the challenge goes out of her face, laughing and tipping her head back. Never. Anyway, I actually need to come here to pick up a few things. Chloe's eyes light up. She turns to face me, back and elbows balancing against the fence that separates sidewalk and sand. Like what? Like a new film and? She looks so eager. As usual, she's seen right through me. Still, it could be fun to tease her a little longer. More colored pencils and she's still grinning, but now she's starting to look a little unsure. I decide to cut her some slack. And something for you. She brightens, springing up straight again. I can't help but grin back, my hands coming up to wrap around the bag strap. Score! I knew it! Subtle as a sledgehammer, Max. When she comes up to me, all the way in my space, and eyes roving around me curiously, it's hard to stand my ground. I have to tilt my head back a little to look into her eyes. So, where is it? You sure you want it right now? Yeah, give. One of her hands snakes underneath my arm, towards my bag. I shiver involuntarily as it brushes against my waist, then smack it away, shoving the bag farther behind my back. That was very descriptive. Grabby. Guilty as charged. Come on, Max, show me the money. I roll my eyes, but she just beams insistently at me. I reach back into my bag and withdraw it carefully. Okay, but it's your fault that there's no element of surprise. Chloe takes the disc cover from me and flips it open curiously. For a second, her eyes just skitter around my doodles. Then she lights up. Dude! I shift from foot to foot, suddenly shy at her delay. I know the drawings are crappy, but the music, it's mostly stuff you like, I promise. And this is great. I didn't even think about music. Oh no. Now it's gonna be a real road trip. What's the point of even going anywhere if you can't zoom out on the way? I knew being able to thrash would still be high on Chloe's priority list. I smiled. Well, it's not alright, girl, wild child. I put some of my tracks on there too. There's no way out of the hipster ears game. You did. Wait. When I meet her gaze again, I fully expect her to be teasing, locked and loaded with an arsenal of jibes to get some musical taste. But actually, her eyes are super warm. It catches me off guard. That's awesome. Thanks, Max. Just to make sure you're thinking of us little people from time to time. She bristles a little at that, tugging her jacket firmer over her shoulders. For a moment, I lose eye contact with her. Are you seriously worried about that? As if I could ever forget. As if that isn't the biggest thing to worry about when you find out your best friend is leaving for an indeterminate amount of time. Especially when yours truly is guilty of exactly that. Oh. Still, I try to keep my tone light, coming to stand beside her, lean back on the fence some. Well, you never know. I've heard there's a lot of roll out there, Chloe. It's easy to get distracted. Distracted from what? I look at her, confused, and the look on her face startles me. Looks like she's really deep in thought, like she's trying to make a decision. Whatever the decision is, she seems to settle on it and looks back at me again. Her eyes are really determined and kind of intense. My mouth goes dry. My mouth is going dry. I feel myself stand up a little straighter. Listen, Max, I wanted... She hesitates just for a moment, and in the space of that 1 second, her phone beeps. It's not a loud sound, but both of us jump. We glance at each other, and I giggle as she huffs and reaches for her pocket. My heart is beating way too fast. It's Joyce. She wants me home early tonight, so we can make dinner together or something. I've barely given any thought to how Joyce must be taking this. Now there's a pang in my chest. You should go. But we'll have tomorrow and Friday to hang out and work on the project. Besides, it's your mom. Chloe chews on her lip for a moment, then she looks at me, suddenly bright-eyed again. Come back to my place. What? She grins at me, bottom lip caught between her teeth. I'm way too excited about this. Come on, it'll be great. And it'll make Joyce happy. You know, just like old times, cooking dinner together, blanket forts, pillow fight. It's a Wednesday. I have class tomorrow, and we're definitely going to need to crack and I'll take the contest mode too. This is really no time to be staging impromptu sleepovers. But Chloe's still beaming at me, insistent and almost coquettish, her eyebrows raised, one hand on her hip. If I say okay and regret it later, there's no one to blame but myself. Okay, but we can't stay up too late. It's like Chloe's whole body just illuminates. She straightens and claps her hands together like a kid, her grin stretching wide across her cheeks. Yes. Without much ado, she grabs my hand and starts dragging me back toward her truck. This is gonna be hella awesome, Max. Joyce will definitely bring her cooking skills if you're here. I should definitely be feeling some regret or indecision about this poor choice of time management, just like how I should have felt self-control a few seconds ago. But Chloe's hand is really warm in mine. I'm so hyped. I'm so full, I think I might never eat again. Chloe was right, and Joyce was excited to see me, probably because it meant another helping hand in the kitchen. The two of us ended up doing most of the work, which is likely the way Chloe planned it. Still, we made so much and ate so much, so I don't think I'm going to be able to move again for another couple of hours. Chloe and I are on her bedroom floor now, sprawled underneath an admittedly very half-hearted blanket fort, made up of all the pillows we could find, and a blanket propped up by Chloe's bedpost and her lamp. This is definitely a fire hazard. Just like me. She's lying on her back, arms folded under her head, and I'm on my elbows leaning back. God, no! We've drawn our knees up to conserve space, but our legs are still bracketed around each other. I'm exhausted. It's only, what, 7? Ish. That's not a bad thing, though. Maybe we'll go to bed at a reasonable hour after all. Chloe groans, shifting a little to spread her arms out wide. Reasonable hour. Oh, right, because of the contest. Have you started coming up with a game plan yet? I tilt my head back. Chloe doesn't pay a lot of attention in photography class, but I know she'll do her best with whatever I ask of her. The contest is a lot of pressure on its own, but having Chloe's goodwill resting blindly on me is heavy too. Sort of. The junkyard was such a cool idea, Chloe. There's so much opportunity for a lot of different kind of shots. Even though she's flat on her back, I can still see her preening. I grin up at the blanket. The tricky part will be trying to find a way to center the shots, since there's going to be so much happening in the backdrop, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, if you're the subject, I think... There's a loud creak of floorboard underneath us, and Chloe comes up onto her arms in a matter of seconds, eyes wide and wincing as her wrists crack. If I'm the subject? Her surprise startles me too, and I nearly lose my balance, upsetting the blanket slightly and hitting my elbows a little too hard against the floor. I thought Chloe already assumed she would be the subject, but in retrospect, I guess the both of us were too distracted to actually talk about it. I turn a little red. Kinda careless, Max. Yeah, I thought, but, I didn't ask, sorry, so if you don't want to, that's totally... No, I mean, I'll do it, I just... She glances away, and it takes me a second to realize she looks a little shy all of a sudden. It's such an unfamiliar expression on her that it takes me a second to recognize it. If you wanted a model, you should have asked Rachel. Which one? What does this mean? You're plenty eye-catching yourself. Yeah. The second it's out of my mouth, I feel a flush climbing up my neck. Chloe props herself up higher on her elbows, grinning at me. Are you hitting on me? Oh shit. Time has come! Now I'm the one that has to look away. She just laughed and I can feel her still watching me, waiting. The point is, I'm not that worried about centering the shot if you're the subject. When I glance back at her, she just nods, mock thoughtful, then grins at me again before lowering herself onto her back again, hands behind her head. Sure, okay, well, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. Well, I think that covers that topic. Besides, photography is something that happens in the moment. It's not really something you can plan out in advance. It's kind of romantic that way. It's the best hipster thing Max has ever said. I look at Chloe again, but she's still looking up, away from me. I wish I knew what she was thinking about. Chloe and I can read each other so well, but there are still moments where I can't get in her head. The silence is broken a little by the sound of Joyce passing underneath the stairs, singing softly to herself. Chloe's fingers curl up. So, you've already talked to Joyce about, you going? Chloe glances down at me in surprise, then grimaces and looks back up at the ceiling. I knew it would be an uncomfortable subject, but I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, it didn't exactly go smooth. She cried, Max. It was fucking brutal. I hummed sympathetically. Mom tears are the absolute worst. But in the end, like, she understood. She wants me to be happy. Kind of like what you said yesterday. She said she was the same when she was young too. Her and, my dad. She said with the gene pool I had, she shouldn't have expected anything less than free spirit. Like a bird. I can't think of a better way to describe Chloe. Joyce may have come down to roost, but the Price women were meant for flight. Chloe grins lazily up at me. Bird of prey. Then her grin falters and she comes up on her elbows again. What about you? Me? Yeah, are you a bird, Max? I'm a bird if you're a bird, Chloe! Her voice is light teasing, but there's a serious sort of look in her face I can't quite decipher. And sure, I just chuckle, lean back, and close my own eyes. Sounds spooky. Sure. There was a sudden tug at my foot and I almost come unseated. I propped myself back up on my forearms and looked back up at Chloe in surprise. Her fingers are still wrapped around my bare ankle, and there's a searching, almost severe look in her eyes. I'm serious. Seriously asking if I'm a bird? Max! It could be, I think. One of her elbows raised, and her thumb brushes past the knob of my ankle. I try really hard not to shiver this time, but she grins anyway. I kind of feel like she's testing me somehow. Well, I don't know if I am a bird, but I'd like to be one. Really free, getting to see so much of the world. Going wherever it's warm, that's nice. And that bird's eye view. When I glance up from her hand around my foot, she's staring at me. Her expression is curious, but she looks pleased, a smile tugging on the corners of her mouth, and I feel like I passed. Huh, well, I think you could be one. She lets go of me and comes up to sit a little straighter. Both of us crawl forward towards each other. Thanks, Chloe. It means a lot coming from a professional peacock like you. Fuck you, I'd be a way cooler bird. Anyway, between you and my mom and Rachel, everyone who actually matters knows now. Well, that's good, right? No loose ends. She looks away from me, lips curling a little. I hate putting it like that. Something's definitely up with her. I'm not sure if it's something I'm supposed to ask after or leave alone. But Chloe knows I'm nosy, so I think she expects it when I push myself forward on my hands towards her. Are you feeling okay? She glances at me, surprised, then away again. I'm fine. Nervous? That gets her to look back again, and for a minute I think I've misstepped, but then she gives an airy, disbelieving chuckle. Kinda. I nod, trying for a sympathetic and knowing expression, but I must screw it up because she immediately shakes her head. It's not what you're thinking. I'm not nervous about, driving or where I'm gonna go or whatever. It's just... Her mouth keeps moving for a moment after her voice trails off, and it's unsettling. I don't think I've ever seen Chloe wordless before. Her lack of brain-to-mouth filter is worrying sometimes, but at least it's consistent. This time I have to lean to the left to catch her eyes again, and she meets them, a little wary. And tell me what I should think. Chloe, I'm not mad at you. You know that, right? I just want to know what's going on with you. I want to get it, like you said yesterday. It's not like you owe me explanations or anything, but you can still tell me anything, right? And I'll listen. I want to be there for you. It startles me when she leans forward, not breaking eye contact. For a second, our faces are very, very close. Then she crosses her arms across my knees and rests her chin there, looking up. You're already here. Her calves are pressing in around mine now, arms heavy where they're, oh my god, draped over my kneecaps, and I swallow. I'm gonna start stuttering. She's grinning up at me, cat-like and intrigued. Come on, I was being serious. I curse myself for stuttering. Oh, you too? But Chloe doesn't seem to notice, just pushes herself off my knees again. I'm being serious too. Max, it's just cool that you're here. It's cool that we can still hang out and that you're making this time for me and being a dumbass. Being a dumb... She just laughs, stretching her arms over her head and then flipping up the edge of the blanket beside her. Chill. Anyway, I'm in a movie mood. It'll help us digest. You got any suggestions? Is she into that? I am though. Well, there's nothing like the classic. Chloe grows so loudly at the character. Dude, if you make me fucking watch that anime movie one more time, you've only watched it once and you fell asleep halfway through. Better than it deserved. Sorry, Chloe. You need to let it grow on you. I'll let Fungus scare on me before that movie does, but whatever, let's go. She holds the blanket up for me as I wiggle out from underneath it, wrapping it under her arm. As we have to. Okay, so that's where we're leaving off for today. Does it save? No, I gotta save. Okay. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. It was real. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens on Thursday. Bye.